We got Sean Frank from the Ridge Wallet, back-to-back Ridge Wallet
There
guys
he is.
today. Welcome to the show,
Look at
Sean.
that microphone. That thing is serious. Do you podcast?
Dude, I am so happy to be in the capital of capital, the fortress of finance. This is my Zen garden. I do podcasts. I just want to say I was listening before I jumped on. That last guest you had does not work at Rich Wallet. I've never met him in my life.
Never
He's
seen him
just been
before.
just been LARPing. He's got the LinkedIn set up. He's
Yeah.
got all the wallets, everyone.
He actually works for a rival wallet company, and he's been selling secrets on the side.
No, there's an alt. I mean,
Are you worried about spying at Ridge?
No, Ridge has had so many knockoffs over the years and from all
Yeah.
different parts of the world. There's an alternate reality where like 10 years ago, like Sean and Connor, like, have a blood feud. And then
Blood
like
feud.
Connor goes and works at one wallet company and Sean does the other. And then like, they're just always like the same because they're like,
Yeah.
you guys are like yin and yang in terms of like, I think like being good
Operations.
at, but anyways, great to
Yeah.
have you on the show, Sean. How's your week going?
I'm good, man. Yeah, Connor is my Rippling. So I'm dealing this scenario and I'm gonna steal all the secrets.
Okay, that's great.
The rippling to my deal.
Fantastic. We want to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I wanted to just have you guys both on to just get a high level read on what's happening in e-commerce. It certainly hasn't been a easy start to the year with the tariffs. I mean, technology companies are in a pretty good spot if you're just selling SaaS. Worried less about the impacts of all these different sort of policy decisions. Talk to us about how the start of the year's gone. We had you on you were one of our very first guests, but I feel like a lot has transpired between then and now.
Totally, man. And I changed my mic, so hopefully this sounds better for you
Way
guys.
better. Thank
Sounds
you.
fantastic.
Nice. Dude, I'm reading chat on the right hand side, so
There we
I'm
go.
here to support. Dude, the biggest thing about tariffs is just the uncertainty and the rollout. So like we're friends with a lot of nine-figure brands, and everyone would like to bring stuff to America, right? But that is a 2 to 4 year manufacturing timeline, right? Ridge has been working on our US factory and our capacity for like 2.5 years, and I can currently make 20,000 units a month. Okay. I sell 50,000 units a month, right? And in peak, I sell way, way, way more than that. So it is just, I've not been able to keep up with demand. And maybe in 4 years I could get there. But with all of the whiplashing on tariffs, it's very hard to know what to invest in. And what that leads to is just me hoarding capital right now. Like I'm not going to do distributions. I'm not going to hire anybody. And it's really this freeze because I don't know where the puck's going, right? We had tariffs come in, tariffs come out, tariffs come in, tariffs come out. Section 321 was stopped, now it's back on. It's just very hard to make a decision when you don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks.
What are you seeing situations with brands that have less of a that have less of a sort of fortress balance sheet where there's like actually, like I imagine there's certain brands that are kind of running the calculus of like, are we even going to make it to Q4 with how this is going? What's kind of like the chatter in the industry?
Yeah, so there's been like 5 years of bullshit when it comes to D2C, right? Like, there was COVID, which was really good for some people, horrible for some people. Famously, Away's sales dropped 90% because
Oh
people
yeah,
stopped traveling,
makes sense.
right? And then you have tariffs. It's just the latest flavor in this. There was
Yeah.
iOS 14 issues and everything else. What
Even
we've seen is
interest
a
rates with
way.
credit cards going up. It's going to hurt consumers.
Totally,
Interest
dude.
rates.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about credit cards. Brex very famously was an e-commerce credit card provider, and they shut down all their credit cards when COVID happened. So
Oh wow.
that's why I'm so glad you guys work with Ramp, the better of the credit card providers. Um, no, so what we're seeing right now is a wave of shutdowns in smaller sub $10 million brands, right? Like that's always been a trend, but it's really ramped up the past like probably the past 3 months since Trump got elected because they just can't absorb tariff costs. Like things were on the water, right, to be brought into America, and then costs went up 25-40% for these people. And when you add that in with everything that's happened, iOS changes, advertising changes, consumer being softer, there's just a wave of bankruptcies and shutdowns happening. So if you haven't secured financing, if you don't have a solid balance sheet, it's just a really, really hard time to be trying to sell stuff on the internet.
Uh, Talk about solo brands. They're currently being
Oh yeah,
priced
what's
at
going
$12
on with
million
that?
on 450 million of revenue. They're not profitable. I have to imagine this is a tariff thing, but we were trying to figure out what was going on with the company.
Have you tracked this at all? It's like the numbers just don't make sense to me whatsoever.
Sean's got his finger on the buy button. He's like, I could just buy every share on
Because
the
they also own
market.
Chubbies. It's like a pretty popular men's fashion brand too, and they're doing like 100 million in sales over there too.
So I know Solo
Yeah.
so intimately.
Mm-hmm.
I know Spencer, the original founder. I know
Mm-hmm.
Bertram Capital, the private equity group that bought them. I know Summit, the private equity group that bought them from the private equity group to take them public.
Mm-hmm.
They had a roll-up strategy. They overpaid for some assets,
Mm-hmm.
and they've depreciated all of them except for two. So they have Solo, which makes the stoves, and they have um, Chubbies. And they used to not break out revenue. The last quarter was the last quarter they actually broke their revenue out.
Yep.
And what you have is Chubby does roughly $100 million in sales and is
Yep.
EBITDA positive. And then you have Solo, which is a shrinking business, shrinking 25% year over year, losing, $50 million or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why their market cap is so low is they have so much debt on that business. I
Yeah,
think
that
it's
makes sense.
over $250 million in debt
Oof.
for a shrinking business that
Yeah.
loses money. So they will sell Chubbies. That like when you break out the finances like that, they're looking for someone to buy that asset to pay down some of this debt, and then they're just to take private. It is just somebody will swoop in. Does it happen before or after bankruptcy? That's the whole challenge, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Do you
because
want to?
you're not just going to pick that up for 12 million bucks. You're going to pick up 250 million dollars of debt with it potentially, and that's a big decision. You got to be ready to do something with that, right? Refinance that or pay that down somehow, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, the obvious suitor is Yeti, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of outdoor roll-ups. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's one side that's somebody it makes sense to own that asset, but it's really really hard to be solo stove right now.
Yeah, that's rough. Well, good luck to them.
Is Do you believe there's potentially another ad platform on the horizons that will save the industry, swoop in and provide cheap ads that allow everybody to scale efficiently again?
Everyone in D2C,
We talked
just
about it-
one
we talked-
more ad platform that's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
banger.
yeah.
Just one more.
Yeah,
please.
I mean, you guys have talked about this a bunch, right? Ridge benefited massively from the rise of just meta
Facebook,
platforms and being able to buy cheap ads and scale very profitably. But what's your conviction level? Are LLM ad networks going to be a thing, or are you short there?
Well, they will find a way to monetize, right? I mean, Google is the most profitable, best business on earth, $80 billion in fucking revenue or whatever. It's all straight profit. And it's all just people searching and them getting in the middle of that. So, if you're ChatGPT or Perplexity, you could probably build an amazing, sales business on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, this year Meta's working. Like last year, Meta did not work, and we're giving so much of our money to the big blue beast, and we're spending more today than we spent in December. Right? It's just because I think they're taking AI seriously and they're really trying to bring AI across their their ad networks. They do have Threads, that's new ad space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is looking to highly monetize its ad space. I think their daily users are going up. Famously, there's Reddit, which has never been able to monetize well. The revenue per user is dog shit. So all we're hoping for is that AI helps people bring the power of the Facebook ads engine to more places. We
Sure.
think AppLovin did that in Q4, but just more ad space to be more higher powered. And dude, unfortunately, if we're in a recessionary environment, the first thing that gets cut is marketing budgets, and then Ridgewald swoops in to buy the cheap CPMs. So podcasts crushing it right now. It makes so much sense why Ramp, Bezel, Wonder, Public.com, AdQuick, 8 Sleep are sponsoring this podcast because podcast ads for us crushing right now.
Yeah,
I love it.
What's your take on? I need to re-download Threads. I deleted it because I'm just so loyal to the Everything app. But are you using it at all yourself? Do you think it will be like if anybody could make the sort of like text-heavy format, the sort of conversational format, have good ad units, it would be Meta Platforms. Are you guys spending, like, can you spend on Threads yet? Are you getting invited to spend on it soon?
So I don't use Threads. I'm trying to spend less time on the internet, dude. Trying to touch some of that delicious
Sweet
sunshine that's been
grass.
hitting my face lately. But dude, never bet against Zuck. You give him pixels, he will monetize them. So if he's got users, he's going to monetize it. The rumor is that Threads ads are coming in Q4 of this year,
Hmm.
and with that, they're also going to better monetize messaging and WhatsApp in general. So, WhatsApp still has 100 million users in America. Like, if you're not logged in every day using it, a lot of people are. And they do have, just DMs and everything that hasn't been monetized. So, Snapchat launched messaging ads last Q4. Whatever Snapchat does, Meta will just scoop up and do it too. So,
Yeah,
we
makes sense.
got
Do
more
we ever
ad
get
units
a,
coming, guys.
Are you
Love
long?
it.
Are you long or short Apple ever doing an ad platform? You'd think they sort of like handicapped the American online ad industry. It would have been nice if they had offered up like
We
a
got our new
stick
ad
and a
platform.
carrot at the same time. Is there any if Apple's entering this era of just like toll road operations, squeezing margin everywhere, getting these sort of incremental fees? Do you see a world
They do
where
App Store ads,
yeah, the App Store is
but not
obvious,
much
but
for direct to consumer companies, if I'm
yeah.
correct.
So my wife was interviewing for a role at Apple years ago, and when you interview at Apple, they make you do these like presentations, and her presentation was the advertising opportunity at Apple, and the executives there were very much like, we're never going to do that. Like that is so against who we are. But then what we've seen in the past 2 years is that no, they're actually totally it'll be an ad exchange, right? So I don't think they'll actually monetize any of their ad space. They have the App Store, right? They have Apple TV, right? They have iMessage is a social network. I think we all spend way more time on iMessage than anything else. They
Yep.
won't monetize it, but they will sell your data. And that was the whole iOS 14 breakdown, right? Is
Yeah.
that Apple wanted they wanted revenue from Facebook in exchange for that data, and Facebook said no, so they shut it down. So they will get probably $40 billion in the next 2 years from just ad data exchange. I think
I
that's
mean, they have your
tracking.
That
phone
makes
number.
sense.
They should
I'm
do
curious.
AI telemarketers. Like they have your phone number, so you pick up your iPhone. It's just ringing, and it's just an ad on the phone.
Hi, this is Sean Frank here. I was just calling to see if you
If you were
want
interested in a Ridge wallet,
and it's just AI Sean.
that'll be a great
Last
product.
question. Are the various platforms treating you nicely enough? Are they taking you out to dinner as frequently as they should? Do you feel like you have? Do you feel like you're a huge customer for them and
Yeah,
client?
didn't Ramp send you like a huge like tombstone for how much ad you've spent? Has Meta sent you anything?
No, dude. I mean, I think I'm at over $250 million in meta spend. So
Yeah,
I'm waiting to get to 1 billion, and then maybe they'll
maybe you
give
get the
me,
steak dinner.
you know, maybe just a cameo from Mark Zuckerberg being like, "Hey man, I
Yeah,
appreciate all the work you're doing."
that'd
But
be
no, dude,
amazing.
Ramp's a great partner. I got a little tombstone from him.
I love it.
Snapchat is in terms of like understanding and client relations, I think they're best in class.
Mm,
Dude, Evan Spiegel, super involved in the ad platform.
that's
I've
awesome.
I've I've had lunch and breakfast with him probably 3 or 4 different times,
Wow,
and he's just like,
On the
how can we
BBJ.
get these ads to work? That's all he cares about. So,
that's great.
um, yeah, dude, love all of the network. Also, Shopify is the best partner out there.
That's amazing. One breaking news story that I want to get your take on. DoorDash and Klarna signed a deal where customers can choose to pay for food deliveries in interest-free installments. There's a lot of chatter on the timeline about this. I know Ridge Wallet has Afterpay installed, Shopify integration. What's your take on paying for your Chipotle burrito over several years?
Well, so the previous guest you had on, a good friend of mine, Connor, we lived
Yeah.
together, and when these things rolled out, he was so bullish. He's like, dude, I can smooth out my burn. He's like,
Yeah.
everything should be financed, interest free, everything. Take advantage of the ZERP environment. Surprisingly, we see a large percentage of our purchases go through a firm. It's
Sure.
probably 15% of all purchases are
Oh
running through
wow.
a firm. So they do serious revenue. There is needs from consumers, and I think people it's probably more bearish for the credit card industry than anything else. Like
Sure.
alternative merchant provided financing, eating high interest rate credit cards. Who pays for it in that transaction? Affirm takes a higher payment processing rate than Visa does. So like that's how they're actually funding this whole exercise. Do I think people should be putting Chipotle burritos on layaway? I do not think that's a good purchase. So that makes me very, very scared. And the memes have been
for
great.
me, it's such a contradiction because like leverage is awesome and then burritos are awesome.
Yeah,
so
put
like
them
you
together.
would think you putting them together would be, you know, this sort of 10x experience, but it
It's
feels
a
very
little
dark.
bit risky.
And,
What about like conversion rate effects for Ridge when you rolled that? Do you remember when you rolled that out? Was there actually a lift in conversion or revenue that you could see, or is it just something you kind of feel builds like a better customer experience over time when you roll out something like Afterpay?
So the reason why we did it is because, at one point, not that long ago, 2020, 2021, e-commerce was the hottest industry. Everyone was rushing into it. The glory days, all of those providers would pay you money to actually add it to the website.
Interesting.
So I
Okay.
think it was either Klarna or Affirm gave us
Yeah.
$50,000 to have it as an option on there.
Wow, that's awesome.
And
And then
yeah,
also, I mean, Ridge's product portfolio has grown a lot. Like you could easily wind up checking out with, a whole Christmas gifts of luggage and wallets for a lot of people wind up in the several thousands. And at that point, doing something like
dude.
Afterpay makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, if, everyone listening is probably billionaires, multi-billionaires, but if you need to get gifts for your staff, ridge.com/Sean, use code Sean for 10% off. There you go, guys.
There we go.
Fantastic.
Sean,
Thanks
I
for
love you.
stopping by.
Good luck in the trenches. And hopefully there's not news in the next week that is so dramatic that it requires us to call our e-commerce correspondent. But if there is, expect a call.
You know what? I would like to go on your guys' payroll as the e-commerce correspondent. I'll get a whole outfit and I'll be out there in the warehouses telling you what's going down. So I appreciate you guys. Goodbye.
Well, I don't know about payroll. I mean, we're trying to be the most profitable podcast here, but we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, we'll do it if you quit. We'll do it if you quit your show.
No,
if we can acquire your show, we can work out a deal. You don't have to do. All you got to do is turn on Zoom.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was gonna pay you guys.
Oh, now we're talking.
Okay.
Now,
there we go.
Now we're doing
Yeah,
deals.
this is the Klarna Affirm strategy.
Yeah, you can pay over time.
Great to see you, Sean.
Great to see you.
Bye.